This week we saw the first COVID-19 vaccines being given in the U.S., and this, of course, is fantastic news. And it's also an incredible logistical operation, unlike anything our country has seen in recent history. The FAA is at the forefront of enabling and supporting this vaccine rollout. So this week I want to highlight the agency's efforts to plan for and support the distribution of these vaccines across the country and even internationally. It starts with the COVID-19 Vaccine Air Transport Team, which began its work back in October. The team is comprised of people from multiple disciplines across the agency, working together to make sure that vaccines arrive here safely and quickly. As you know, the Pfizer vaccine has to be kept at extremely cold temperatures during transport, and this is no small feat. In accordance with their FAA-approved dangerous goods programs, airlines typically move perishable goods by packing the shipping containers with dry ice, but in nowhere near the amounts necessary to move a large payload of this particular vaccine at these temperatures across the nation and earlier this month across the Atlantic Ocean. Now, rather than trying to obtain waivers or modify the shipping equipment, which might have been the case years ago, and a time-consuming and expensive proposition, the airlines have been able to use their safety management system processes to put controls and mitigations in place to significantly increase the amount of dry ice they can safely carry on board these flights. This boosts the number of vaccine doses in the cargo hold and guarantees the safety of the crew. Now, just last week, the FAA issued a safety alert for operators, or SAFO, for safely transporting larger than typical quantities of dry ice to maintain cold temperatures required by some of these vaccines during shipment. The SAFO explains to the industry how increased volumes of dry ice, a hazardous material, can be safely managed. We're also working with manufacturers and airports to make sure that this precious cargo is moved safely and within the regulations. Also last week, we provided planning considerations to our nation's airports. We stressed that airports should consider their operating environment to ensure that they're fully prepared for aircraft that are carrying COVID-19 vaccines. For example, airports should have adequate aircraft rescue and firefighting coverage for these kinds of operations. They also need to have snow removal equipment and procedures to clear runways for aircraft that are transporting vaccines. And they need adequate aircraft parking areas available for vaccine transport aircraft. Airport operators should also work with their local air traffic control facilities before and during any vaccine transport flights movements on the airfield. And of course, we're making sure that our air traffic services are ready around the clock to support these flights. And we will prioritize those flights that are carrying vaccines. Many of our colleagues will continue faithfully on duty to keep the national airspace system safe and available, supporting travel and delivery of critical cargo, and find new ways to complete our mission 24/7, 365, never stopping.